Mr. Executive, there's some, Rod Serlings here to see you?
Great, send him in.
Them, sir. I'm sending them in now.
Mr. Executive, have I got a pitch for you?
Rod, why are you all wearing bags with photos of your face glued onto them?
Consider, if you will.
Not you! The real Rod!
Consider, if you wills.
I said the real Rod!
Consider, if you will, a whole new holiday. One that celebrates not a birth, but a life. The life of a great writer.
Rod.
Every year, on Serling's Eve, children will gather around wearing their Rod Serling masks, writing down their ideas for their own episodes of
Rod.
The Twilight Zone. And on Serling's Day, they'll all submit their stories to me. And I'll have enough material to keep the Twilight Zone going for the next 100 years. And the best part? All their stories were written by Rod Serling.
Rod! That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. No one's gonna buy a Rod Serling mask, let alone wear it every year just to give you free story ideas.
You know, I might just believe you if you looked a little more trusting.
Fine, give me one of those stupid masks. Oh my god! Why is this mask moist and... what's that stench?
Rod, here got them from his job. They were just gonna incinerate them.
Incinerate them? Where does he work?
He works at the CDC.
Hey, boss. I think I got another bout of the shakes coming.
Boop! Dolores, get an ambulance down here quick. I don't know what we were just contaminated with, but I'm pretty sure the four of us are dying.
They irritate the irritated, flex perplexities, poise puzzles, magnify mysteries, impose inquiries, and coagulate quandaries. But more importantly, they ask one question.
Why would you make this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? The only podcast to change its appearance to escape the past, but dies in the gutter anyway, forcing you to ask the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. I'm Time Commander on most social media. I'm joined by What's going on?
None.
Cool. Also joined by J Delta Wagwan.
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 All right. Cool.
Wagwan.
So we watched Season 1, Episode 13 of The Twilight Zone. The four of us are dying.
Yeah.
Kinda. They're sort of dying.
Yeah, I mean, some of them might be dead already.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Are they? What? Oh, wow. Okay. I forgot the terrible story I watched.
Yeah. You know, there's a guy who could change faces and things, and
Yes.
he becomes other people.
This is where a man who has four faces, or can change his face, or they're kind of very literal and also kind of mystic about whether or not he can actually change his face, or whether it's like a metaphor, or that. But then the story starts, and you're like, oh no, he literally has four faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he just does whatever he wants with those faces. That's the story, basically.
All right, we're done with this pod.
Yeah.
For the mistakes of others and whatnot.
Although I really, because they're like, oh, he could change his face. No, he changes his whole body and his voice and everything.
Yeah.
That was what I expected at first, when he changed his face for him to still sound like the original guy.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, oh, this is, it's like hardcore science, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
This is some
Hardcore
hardcore
science.
science in front of us right there. All right, and because of that hardcore science, this thing was lost in translation.
Turns out it wasn't.
Oh, no, it wasn't?
No.
Well, not for the French anyway.
No.
The French didn't want to get involved.
No.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over to the number one country station of all Kazakhstan.
Oh,
Bad translator. We got, the four of us are dying, and we have four bad translations. That's cool.
Perfect.
First one is four of us are dying. Oh, there's no four?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no thou, there's a four. It was the first thing I said. Duh. The next one we have is Four of Us Am Dying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fun time. The next one is Die, the Four of Us.
I kind of like that one.
I thought that was German at first. It's like the Four of Us. And then finally we have Four of Us Died. That's more of like a posthumous. There's a flashback in the beginning.
Well, only 4 of his personalities died.
Oh.
The rest are living large in Cancun.
He's still got, like 6? Like, he's got, like, cat personalities. He's got 9 personality lives.
It's like the dude in Split, where he's got, like, 26 personalities. 4 of them died. There's still plenty left.
I didn't see that movie, so that could be the actual events of that film. I don't know.
Well, you see, there's a guy played by James McAvoy, and he just gets to act like a whole bunch of different people for a bunch of time.
None of them curve bullets, as far as I know.
No?
No.
Are any of them, like, captain of a starship of any time, or have any psychic powers? Or...
No, but the entire movie does take place on the holodeck.
There it is. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there.
Hey, that's just the truth. Well, I mean, then we might as well make it official and go ahead and move on to the Truth Hour.
Truth.
I hear that truth train coming. Truth. I hear that truth pull into the station. Hey, you there.
All aboard the truth train!
I can do it. Fuck you both. I can do it. Truth station. Next stop, Truthville. Truth. Oh, it's the truth. Just do it.
It's the truth. I can't deny it. It's the truth. I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the truth. That's what they say. And they say that the truth will set you free, and I feel so free after hearing that. The truth is what I heard.
On your way to Truthville.
That's right. Population U. Middle of Truthotopia. Right next to Truthsylvania? True.
Well, this is the Truthsylvania 65000.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's,
Geena Davis
man.
is back there. She thinks
That
she's a
is
vampire.
worth it, yo.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Woo! Although, Kramer's gonna show up later. And that was bad.
Did he? Well, you said it, so I guess he did.
No, he really wasn't it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. You don't remember in Transylvania 65000 that dumb fucking bellhop boy who was like, "Look, my foot is caught in door."
Oh, that was him?
That was him. Yeah, it was awful.
Huh.
That character
Yeah.
is what I see when I see Sacha Baron Cohen play any character.
Oh, really?
Like, that's just how I feel. Like, yeah, I get it, dude. Like, just tone it down. I get it.
Now I gotta go back and watch that movie.
And like any of those Ali G or any of that stuff, I'm
Yeah.
just like, like, stop.
Just
Just
stop it.
Just stop. I like the other thing where This Is America. That's not what it's called. Whatever it's called, where he makes fun of Dick Cheney and like,
Yeah.
he gets the Southern preacher governor to like endorse killing Muslims with his butt or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that's wrong, but also that's not far off. Like, at all. All right, yeah, that's the truth. So we have this episode was released, was it January 1st?
Start off the new year.
Yeah, baby. Ooh, that's why they do it like that every year, because of this episode.
Oh, wow. Goddamn.
That's the truth. So we have, first off, December 39th.
December 39th.
Oh, man.
Goddamn.
That was that super leap year that we don't talk about back in 59. So back in 59, Val Kilmer was born.
Yeah.
We know him from things like Batman Forever, Alan Dr. Moreau, Real Genius.
Yeah.
name all
What
the bad
else? Not Top Gun. What's that one that wasn't Top Gun that he was in?
Top Gun.
Oh, he was in Top Gun?
Yeah.
Oh, then Top Gun. Okay.
He was Iceman.
Oh, okay. He was the other. And he was
then-
not Tom Cruise.
He played
he-
not Tom
Tom
He
Cruise
was
was
Gun.
Maverick
He was
in Top Gun.
He played Gun?
but then he was in Maverick
Yes.
Oh.
as
The horse.
Junkie McGee.
That's all of what I'm getting mixed up, obviously.
Yeah.
Toots McKenzie.
Toots McKenzie.
Toots McKenzie,
the horse.
talking horse.
The horse,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Talking Toots, they call him.
Yeah.
I have not seen Maverick in such a long
Yeah,
time.
I know. It's one of those, cult classics. Everybody forgets about.
Yeah, and goes into a cult when they watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What, the cult of, the dealer from last week?
sure. Yeah.
The dealer was in Maverick? Whatever. That's a
Talking Toots.
really shitty callback. So, January 1st, the day this was released, the Republic of Cameroon became an independent from France. What?
Yeah,
Independent?
Cameroon.
I don't even know. What do they do?
Well, they were in, you remember World Cup on the NES?
Okay.
They had a team in that, and I used to play as them all the time.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You're like, this sounds like Cameron. That's a nice name. I'm gonna pick them.
Cameroon, okay.
That is legit. How I remember one of my coworkers' names. It's the
Wait.
country of Cameroon, which means his name's Cameron.
Wow.
Dude, dyslexia is eating me alive.
No, that's the diabetes.
Oh. I got it mixed up because of dyslexia.
Yeah, there you go.
And January 2nd, we really shouldn't be talking about stuff that happens at whatever. I'll talk about that off the air. January 2nd,
This is the day after.
JFK announces his candidacy for presidency.
Which all turned out great.
It's, not a mistake at all
Nope.
for anybody involved, including America or Marilyn Monroe. January 3rd, the Harlem Globetrotter game is aired for the first time on TV on CBS Sports. And what? Oh, it was between the Globetrotters and the Baltimore Rockets.
What?
Not the Washington Generals.
Generals?
You didn't write who won.
Yeah, now I'll
Yo.
never know who,
But what was the score?
I know. 1,000,000 to a 0.
No, yeah.
Not to 0, to a 0.
Yeah, 1,000,000 to
To a 0. That's that special. Like, you get, like, it's ones, tens, hundreds, then it's a thousands, a millions, a zeros. So they won, is what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Finally, we have My Birthday.Ninja, which, of course, lets you know that you were a female somewhere around Northern Europe. All right, we're in a new year. And approximately 1725. So you were like, oh, and you were a professional digger or undertaker as a woman? No, you were not.
Yo, it's the truth.
Oh, you know what? Actually, no, 100%. What happened was in 1725,
Oh, actually,
your husband was probably like dying, and you were like, oh, he's the best undertaker in the world. I'll just take that information into the back room to him. I say we do this. Well, this is what he said we should do. And really, it was just her. There was no man.
oh, all right. I was going to
She
say.
would just go into a back room and go, harump, harump. And she'd go, well, that's what he wants. I'm his wife.
That makes more sense. I was going to say professional digger like Gardner. But your thing, that makes more
That
sense.
makes more sense. The convoluted backstory of portraying two people and running an entire business in a society where women are not allowed to do so. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. Okay, I'm glad we agreed. I was trying to think of a star, but apparently I don't know any female actresses because I'm a sexist asshole.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
That is...
Jimmy Time is going after the women again.
She's here to promote her hit film,
Goopy.
Oh, God.
Goopy the Undertaker.
Yeah, no. Gina Davis. Gina Davis is... She's still hot. I don't give a shit.
Is she still alive?
Of course.
I'm just asking. When was the last time she did anything?
She doesn't need to do anything. She's Gina Davis. She was in like a million good movies. And she almost was on the United States archery Olympic team.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
She's like a second alternate or something.
They canceled those Olympics.
she was kidnapped by aliens. And for mating purposes.
Yep, and Jeff Goldblum.
And Jeff Goldblum purposes.
Yeah, had to stop them.
That's right. Well, he's an alien. They just shaved him at the end of that film. And
Oh,
that's just what he looks like under the fur.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's keep him. America, that's what America said.
Oh,
Let's keep him.
We'll call you Goldblum.
Yeah. We also got Jim Carrey and
Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans. Again, it just kind of went down in quality as it, woof. So, let's move on to the best hour.
Our favorite hour.
Our favorite hour! The Troy McClure hour. Hello, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such tales of mistaken identity as, will the real Slim Pickens please stand up? Or, no, shoot him, he's the real Hitler. Today, I'm here to talk to you all about faking your death and starting over fresh. Cool. This episode was written by Rant. I don't know why the fuck I said cool like that. Oh, man. It was based off of a short story written by George Clayton Johnson called All of Us Are Dying. That, doesn't give away the ending in a much better way than this title gives away the ending. Oh, man. All of us? How many? 100? 12?
Could be 1 billion.
Could be 9.
Oh, the entire human race?
Or just me.
Well, you said all of us, so.
Oh, I'm all of me, though. But also, that's how it was. One guy died. It could be any of those.
Yeah.
And
it's
four of us. The twist is there wasn't. It was just one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Again, lying is the only way you can create a convincing story.
Yes.
Once there was a man. Turns out he wasn't a man. The end. I got you again, America.
Here's some dirt in your face.
How do I get? Why just? I should empty these pockets.
That man was a peddler.
Yes. Except he wasn't. I got you again, America.
But then he was, and here comes death.
Genius. So, this episode was directed by John Bram, who we've already heard about. This is one of the more famous directors. He's done 12 episodes. He did the old time clocky one where the stuff blew up and everyone hated it except for Huge.
Loved it.
And a lot of other people.
They're all wrong.
Yeah. Me and Delta were talking to a mutual friend about the podcast, and he was like, oh, I remember this one episode, that was really good. We were like, no, it's not, you suck, you're dumb. No, it's not. He was like, oh, really? Oh, I thought it was good. We're like, just watched it. No, it wasn't. He's like, oh, that's not, I thought it was good. We were like, you stupid. And he was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm dumb.
I have honestly never presented my, that was 100% how I felt, and then felt bad about it. I was like, oh man, I really may have, I think I hurt him by telling him that. He's not a real person. He doesn't have feelings.
My man is like a goldfish. He forgot that 15 seconds later.
Yeah, I know, but just the look of defeat in his face when he was like, oh, really? Oh, no, I thought it was good. Oh.
It's the whole foundation of trust in my life.
Yeah. Did you know you could just convince someone to stop believing what they believe in a sentence?
Have you not understand how this country works?
Yeah, but I thought that was a conspiracy. I didn't know it was real.
Yeah. No, you just say it with conviction and they go, oh, really? All right.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, Harry Towns plays Archhammer.
Ugh.
We were due for a bad name. It's been a couple episodes.
You may remember him as Rieger in the 1967 Star Trek episode Return of the Archons. Del Fry from the 1981 Incredible Hulk two-parter, The First. Is he only just random TV shows?
Yo, this dude has never had a recurring role that wasn't a two-parter.
Quincy MD, Gunsmoke, The Fugitive.
And that's on all those shows, he would just show up and he's like, oh, look, it's Dr. Hoffman. And then, a season later, it'd be like, oh, it's Garrett, the local simpleton. He never played the same role.
And then he became a priest and retired. From Hollywood, not from everywhere. You don't become a priest and then go, I'm retired now that I've reached priesthood. I will never priest again.
But he became
a retiring from Jesus.
And kept acting for another 15 years while still being a priest.
And then he died. Wow, but that's inevitable. That's not his fault.
And then, what? He died? Huh?
What a bum.
I thought he was a priest.
He can't. Isn't that the whole point of joining the church? You become immortal? What all the wine and praying is for?
You would think.
I would think. So, Philip Pine plays, what? Verge Sterig. Does he? Okay, sure. You recognize him as Ryan from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Oh, sorry, an episode of Voyage at the bottom of the sea. The 5 of us are left. Oh my god! How do you typecast people by show name? Colonel Green in the 1969 Star Trek episode The Savage Curtain.
The 3 Savage Curtains.
Oh, the 3? The 3? What?
No.
You convinced me! He's already been typecasted.
I do have dyslexia.
I'll believe anything that I can read, because I might have misread it. And most recently, Man, in the 2005 short film Creep. He died in 2006. Oh, wow. So did he play like a really old man, or was it just like...
It didn't say old man, but I would assume.
He should have took better care of himself.
And what, not died?
Yeah, just cut that out.
No, you won't.
No, you can't.
Not anymore.
No, you can't. Ross Martin plays Johnny Foster. You may remember him as Artemis Gordon from the 1955, from the Wild Wild West, the TV show in the 60s. Also, Tony Alca in the 1987 and 79. That's not right. What you write here?
I don't know. I guess I got dyslexia too.
I guess 1978 to 79 series Hawaii Five-0.
That makes more sense than him going back in time.
It kind of doesn't, because I feel like Hawaii Five-0 is a lot way too popular for it to only have been one season. Like, most recently he played Jacob Spiegler, whatever, in the '83 TV movie I Married Wyatt Earp. He's dead from a heart attack from what? A game of tennis?
Yeah. Died on the tennis court. Do what he loved.
Do what he loved.
Dying.
Playing hard to read show titles. Characters. You can see the full cast and crew at imdb.com. It's his fault, not my fault. That I can't read any of this shit. Let's start the show. Get the opening narration. His name is Archie Hammer. Excuse me. His name is Arch Hammer. His name should be Archie, whatever.
Archie.
Arch Hammer.
Archibald Hammer.
That's right. He's 36 years old. He's been a salesman, a dispatcher, a truck driver, a con man, a bookie, a part-time bartender. This is a cheap man, a nickel and dime man, with a consciousness that goes past the suit and the shirt. The cheapness of mind, the cheapness of taste, the tawdry little shoes on the seat of his conscience, the dark room squint at the world whose sunlight has never gotten through to him, but Mr. Hammer has a talent discovered at a very early age. This much he does have. He can make his face change. He can twitch a muscle, move a jaw, concentrate on the cast of his eyes, and he can change his face. He can change it into anything he wants. Mr. Archie Hammer, jack of all trades, has just checked in at $3.80 a night with 2 bags, some newspaper clippings, a most odd talent, and a master plan to destroy some lives.
I feel like maybe I need to just run through that again.
Yo. I'll never watch this episode again. I can't run through that again.
Yo.
Throughout the voiceover, Archie walks the streets. Well, the streets as neon signs fly past him, and the camera pans and awkwardly freeze frames on Hotel Rio. Yeah, I had to rewind twice to make sure that the stream didn't freeze.
Yeah,
because it wasn't a close up shot. It was a freeze framed of action.
Yeah,
there was a blur in the freeze.
Well, so the only thing I could think is it wasn't planned to stop on that, and then they were just shooting all these neon signs.
Yeah,
which this is say what you want about the Twilight Zone, they've had some pretty good direction and
sure,
but this, it really looks like a stage play.
Yeah, it's like in literally. I mean, I've seen it in other things, but only through the reflection of a car window. But it's like in cartoons where they have the signs pass by people's minds.
Yeah.
Except the director was like, more signs, awkward angles, as if they're not even attached to buildings. upside down, like just
They
hundreds.
were all like literally hanging off of wires.
Yeah.
Just
No
like,
direction, no indication
it was
of building, direction, or sign. Or, like, usually, like, when you see it in films, there's the reflection off of the windshield, so you can see, like, oh, he's passing one, he's passing another, he's passing a third. Or they do that visually, like, he's kind of walking past it. It was...
And these were definitely, like, just leftover neon signs that they found places, because some of them were just like, open! To hammer!
Yo, yeah, like, Serling's nephew, like, was an amateur glassblower, and he was like, yeah, I can use your junk. So, inside the hotel room, Arch studies one of the photos of a dead musician, Johnny Foster, and then he heads out. He changes his face, though, doesn't he? In this scene?
No, not in this scene. See,
Yo, no joke.
yo,
They show his face.
I know.
Then they show the other guy's face. Then they show his face again. Like, I don't know who that is.
Yo, dude, I know. It's like I've never been like, yo, I cannot tell white people apart at all. Put them in a suit and I don't know who they are.
Yo, like, there was one time, legit, where they were like, they showed his face,
Yeah.
and they show the other face.
Yeah.
And they showed his face again, and they go, did he change?
So look, at
and then they
first,
show another face, and he does change, and I go, okay, now I'm not sure.
this first time when like he looks at it and he,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, did he change? I was like, I don't think he changed. I had to wait until he goes into the club as himself and then change. And then I was like, oh, so he didn't change because he changed just now. I do not understand faces of white people at all.
Holy crap, dude. Yeah.
that shot, probably like when he's shaving in the beginning,
Yeah.
probably blew minds of everyone watching. It's like, my God, the camera went down. And I see his hand, and then it goes back up, and it's a different person.
Oh.
Well, gosh, Susan, how'd they do that?
But it does continue the trend of them loving their mirror
Yeah.
trick shots. Like, I'm telling you, man, 58, the mirror was invented. They just figured it out. So, yes, he looks at the dead musician, and he heads out, and he walks the streets, and like 100%, it's the same
Yeah.
thing from the opening. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same scene. And we get to Club Bonanza, and inside there's a woman singing a sad song on a piano, and her name is Maggie. We learned this when she tries to walk away, and some patron like, oh, come over here, Maggie, hang out with me. This is great. She's like, I'd rather drink alone, sir. And he was like, okay, Toots. Oh, that's not. That's an exaggeration of a character.
Yeah. That's not Bill Cosby.
I mean, it is, kind of, but also. So she sits alone at a table, and Arch walks up, and then he changes his face to Johnny, and she's astounded. She's like, oh, you're alive, but you got hit by a train.
He's like, ah.
Yeah, well, yeah, rumors, all it was. She's only been able to sing the blues since he got trained or derailed, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
You got
sure.
a train right in the puss.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I heard your puss got a good railing the other day.
Went off on a mighty toot, yeah.
Talkin' Toots.
He says that he faked his death, and then he asks her to run away with him. They kiss, and she agrees. The 12:06 to Chicago. We'll meet you there. And then...
All right, so I got some issues.
Oh?
So she's just like, so that's his, the dead guy's girlfriend,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I guess, yeah.
Mistress or lover in some
Yeah.
way, yeah.
So she's pretty devastated. Then she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. I think you're a ghost, right?
Yeah.
Totally a ghost. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, no. I faked my death. Oh, okay. I'm totally fine with you faking your death. I'm
Yeah.
just, your fucking girlfriend
No
or whatever.
questions.
Well,
no.
they write it off with, wow, you always were weird, Johnny. Well, I mean, there's weird and there's fake your death weird,
I
but
guess, yeah. Plus, don't forget, women are just dumb. They're just so dumb. I faked my death. Well, I mean, I don't know nothing about death, so you know more than I do.
That's at Jimmy Time, at Time Commander.
Yo,
yo,
Facebook tried to take down one of our episodes because the last time that I impersonated women that way.
So they thought it was you instead of a 50s character?
Yeah, I explained to them that it was satire. They're like, all right, good enough.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it's like I don't know if they were just like, whatever. Or if my explanation worked where I was like, wait, like, who are you protecting here? Women from the marginalization they're feeling? Like, what exactly are you doing? Sorry. Anyway, so, as Arch leaves the club, Johnny, another musician, as Johnny leaves the club, or Arch Johnny? Johnny Arch, as the protagonist. No, that's not true either.
No.
As the character focused upon is exiting the domicile.
John Faceman.
John Every Faceman. Another musician recognizes him as he's leaving and goes to chase him. Well, I thought you were dead. Come back, Johnny. And he runs outside and he's like, wow, I thought you were dead. Let me light your cigarette, Mac. There. Oh, boy. And he's like, well, you got the wrong guy. It's not me. Oh, boy. I'm so sorry. I'll leave you alone, mister.
That dude develops PTSD right there.
Yeah. And then Arch is like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I do deserve all this. I deserve everything.
Yeah.
I'm the greatest. And then we hear inside that Maggie, who could only sing the blues, suddenly singing a great upbeat song.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in love again. Yeah. Again, he's walking the streets. We get the third time the Neon Side parade is going on.
Yeah.
Inside the Hotel Real, Johnny... is this Hotel Real or is this some other place?
No, it's Hotel Real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he goes back to his room. But yo, Hotel Real.
I knew. Because I had forgotten that. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, he's going to be pissed.
Yo, it's so bad.
Like, it was called Real Hotel, and they were like, no, let's flip it, and then people were like, wow! So inside, Johnny studies a photo of a dead gangster, Virgil Starrig, and he becomes him, and he practices some lines, and then he leaves. We get the same shot of him walking through Neon City again.
Okay, I want to know, when this dude becomes someone else, does he, like, become them, knows their memories, because he has their voice, he's able to, like, interact with people, so is it literally, like, he becomes them in some metaphysical...
Well, I assume so, because when the girlfriend, Maggie, was, like, just, like, putting his hands all over her, like, face and stuff, she would, you know, if it was still this dude's body, just a different face, she'd be like, what the hell? You know, your hands are different, or blah, blah, blah.
But in Face Off, that's not what happens.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, based on the science of John Woo, like...
I think you mean based on the science of Nicolas Cage. Like, what do you... That's your defense.
Yeah, so I'd have to imagine that he just becomes that person.
His whole body,
His
but
whole
then like
body shifts.
like memories and everything. Because how does he know the things he knows?
Luckily, every person in this universe is dumb enough to think that when you drag your dead hand across someone's face, that means you love them, so nobody questions it.
Yeah,
That's a shitty movie, Face Off.
yeah, but Face Off.
Oh, but also they say that line in the film, so never mind. So, same neon shots again. We go inside the penthouse, a penthouse of some sort, and Arch Virgil, who changes face, pushes his way in, and he talks to Mr. Pennell. Pennell, that's how, yeah. Mr. Pennell. And Pennell is absolutely shocked to see that Virgil's in the room. This is just funny to me, the visual thing that they do, which is Pennell stands up and somehow manages to accidentally put his beer can through his television.
Yo, that is the strongest beer can and weakest TV.
Well, 100% it's the weakest TV, because this is 50.
This is the 50,
so, like, that was,
yeah.
like half tin. Like, it wasn't even...
Shouldn't the tube have blown up and, like, taken out half the apartment building?
Well, it did. It just didn't take out the apartment. Like, it blew up, but didn't do the taking out part.
Literally a mercury leak in that apartment. Everyone in there is dead in an hour.
Dude, it blew up like a Van Halen music video, dude. Like, goddamn. So Arch Virgil accuses Pinnell of double-crossing him and dumping his body in the river, and all he wants is his cut from the job that he somehow knows about.
Yeah, well,
and,
that's what I'm talking about. Does he know, like, how does he know about the job and the money?
I just assumed it's always me looking too much into it. I just figured this guy's a con man. He's probably involved in, like, all this kind of shit. And it seems like it's like a seedy kind of, like, he never leaves this, like, you know, almost like Vegas or Atlantic City, like this seedy town. So he knows everything and he's just constantly using it.
Yeah, I can see that. See, I was with Delta and that where I was like, how come the lady isn't like, that's not how Johnny kisses? Or like, how come Mr. Pinnell wasn't like, why do you keep calling me Mr. Pinnell? Call me Frank or whatever his real name, you know, like, we know each other.
Yeah.
But no, that never happens. He was just like, yep, these are the exact mannerisms of all these people.
And I went back and, like, looked at the newspaper articles to see if there was any hint, and, like, with Sterig, it's like, gangsta found floating in river after bullets in him, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was legit enough.
Yeah, it's...
Because he seems so confident in everything.
It's all confidence.
So I was like, all right, so either he's, like, just really good and really lucky, or, like, he's just painstakingly, like, memorizing all this shit for a big...
That's the thing, is it's like, we're really nitpicking this character, but, like, aggressively. But yeah, it's not so much the confidence he has, it's he's getting information correct.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't know. He's getting actual
He's
facts
cold
correct.
reading. He's literally just, like John Edwardsing this whole shit.
You had, a relative, a brother.
Who was dead? You were dead. Well, yes.
I'm sensing
yes,
I'm dead.
and you're afraid of ghosts, which I am.
Stop it, you're scaring me.
I knew you'd say that.
I go, yeah. I'm getting money. Something about money? The money's safe. The money's not safe.
The money's
There's
innocent.
money in a safe.
There's money. Maybe there's a safe in money, something like
Something
that.
about you need to open the safe and give me the money.
There's something about safe and money. I'm also getting 20%. Give me 20% of the money in the safe. That's after his TV deal runs dry. He just goes to funeral homes. He just goes and reads funeral homes. So yeah, Pinnell's like, don't worry, I got you cut. It's right here. Here it is. Here's your 20%. He's like, yeah, I'll take my 20% plus interest for floating down the river, all of it. And he goes to leave, but then some, I don't know, goons or walk in, or maybe his bosses. I don't know. They're really never described at all as to who they
goons.
are. They're in trench coats. That's goonish enough. And Archie just pushes right past him and just runs out. Like, I don't know why, but he did. Apparently, those were the bad guys.
Well, they're goons. You gotta run from goons.
It could have just been like, I'm a ghost. And they would have been like, ah.
I don't think that.
Goons don't know anything about that.
Goons
They're just
is
dumb.
Very superstitious.
Oh, if you chase me, don't step on them cracks. You'll break your mother's back.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Damn it, goons!
You let him get away again. Please, boss. I gotta go to the church and say Hail Marys. My mother's gonna die. They stepped on a crack and it formed into larger cracks. That's gotta be something. Back into the city streets. Different city streets this time. No more neon signs. Archie Virgil is chased into a dead-end alley and is panicking and cannot think of a face to change into. And then suddenly he notices there's an old boxing poster on the wall behind him. So he changes into the boxer just as the armed goons catch up to him. And they're like, oh, you're not the guy we're after. We're very sorry. Good day, sir.
Well, they're professional goons.
Yeah. Back when goons had class and honor. You know, the classy goon.
Yeah.
With a monocle and a pipe.
Yeah, you run up to a guy with a gun and you go, oh, my mistake, sir. I didn't mean. Clearly, I have the wrong gentleman.
But would you possibly have the time of day? I say.
Yes. Sorry for the trouble. How about the brandy?
Oh, perhaps a sniff of cocaine.
So this boxer was, I guess, extremely famous. One, because he's in a newspaper, and two, because they're, like, stunned into silence when they see him.
Well, I think they're stunned that it's not the guy they were chasing, even though I'd never I don't think they ever got a look at the guy.
To me, they seemed like, I could be wrong, it seemed like they were intimidated. Even though they had guns, they were like,
They were probably, again, goons are superstitious. They're probably freaked out. They're like, wait a minute. How's that guy standing in front of us? And he's on the wall behind him. I don't understand this at all. This doesn't make no sense to me. Let's get out of here before some ghosts happen.
Goons are superstitious. Also, don't understand photos.
No, yeah. They think that they steal your soul.
Yeah.
That's why they hate when police take their photos. So yeah, the goons are like, all right, we're sorry. We'll leave you alone. Goodbye. And then Archie leaves the alley and he's like, ha ha ha, did it again. You old cheat, you. And then some old man runs up to him. He's like, what is it? Andy? Right? Andy, don't you remember me? It's me. Don't you remember me? And he's like, I don't no. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I do. Sure. Maybe I don't. Well, yeah. All right. Whatever's convenient for you. And the guy's like, what are you, drunk? He says punchy, but that's what he means. Is
is that what?
well, no, like punch drunk, like,
Yeah,
like
that's what
had
I
brain
thought.
damage.
Oh, really?
He was a
Yeah.
boxer. Yeah, his eggs got scrambled.
Oh, all right.
You're in too deep right now. We gotta play it back.
What's wrong, Andy? You punchy?
All right. So he's punch drunk, apparently. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Who are you? And he's like, I'm your dad. You're my son. Or at least I was, before you spit in your mother's eye and did the dirty deed to that sweet girl you ruined. Now you're garbage. I hate you, and you don't mean anything to me. Okay, well then I'll see you. Where do you think you're going? Well, do I mean something or not? Like, make up your mind, old man. The old man's like, oh, you're a piece of garbage, and you're not gonna get away with this. Look, everybody! Look at the creep! The old goodly guy just starts yelling junk at, I don't know.
He just has a stroke. Look at it, googling. I saw how would it handle it?
I mean, he basically does. There's nobody around, and he's like, look at him, look, everybody, look at the goon, look at. You're like, dude, nobody's looking.
And the goons are like, don't look at him. He's a ghost. You'll turn to stone.
Look away, Miriam. It'll be awful.
Turn to stone.
It'll be horrible. So,
Yo, I love that he fucking pie faces this old man.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to be a boxer, but
pushes a man to the ground, yeah. Oh, man. So, back at the hotel, fucking Archie Andy, because now he's still Andy. I don't know why he still has that face on, but whatever. He shows up. He starts packing his junk. And then some guy just walks into his hotel room, sneaks in. And Arch quickly turns back into himself and hides behind the door. The detective, I guess? He never really identifies himself, does he? Could be a private eye.
He's
could
got
be
a hat and a gun.
bounty hunter. Yeah, it could be the mayor. I don't know. So he tells Archie that he's going down for a bunko rap in Detroit. I cannot translate that for you. I tried with punchy and I was wrong. I will not try this. So Archie's like, I'm going to just get my hat and coat and then we'll leave. But he does it for like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And the cop pulls his gun out, but nothing happens. Like, I was like, all right, sure. As they leave the hotel, they go into the revolving door and suddenly Archie changes his face to somebody else. Himself again?
No, Andy.
Oh, back into Andy again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
And he just stays in the revolving door.
Yeah, and the detective's like, you, get back here. Oh, wait, you're not him. Did you see where that guy went? And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And he just runs back inside. That's it. The cop's gone forever. Outside the hotel, Archie Andy lights up a cigarette to relax, but the old man shows up again. The father, he's got cold, dead eyes. And he says he's got to pay a debt. He owes many things. And he pulls out a gun and aims it right at Archie Andy. And he's like, no, you got it all wrong. I'm not him. I swear. You just give me a chance. I gotta concentrate. Ah! Blam! That's it. He gets shot. Can't do it. Dead. Archie's on the floor, and he starts changing between himself and Virgil and Andy and Johnny and himself again. And as he's dying, the closing narration happens over, and the old man just kind of looks out calmly because he has clearly lost all of his shit, like 100%. First, like, it's a hard enough deed, he shot his son.
Yeah.
But then his son's face just started morphing into a million other faces, like some weird, creepy version of it at the end, like, just, he just starts, that's it. He was Archie Hammer, a cheap little man who just checked in. He was Johnny Forster, who played a trumpet and was loved beyond words. He was Virgil Sterrig, with money in his pocket. He was Andy Marshak, who got some of his agony back on the sidewalk in front of a cheap hotel. Hammer, Foster, Sterrig, Marshak, all four of them were dying.
So,
and he didn't even say in the Twilight. No, he just, that's how
this was one of
shitty
the
of a
rare
story. Yeah, because it was so shitty, he didn't even want to put his own sting on it.
Yeah.
There's no stank on. So, with when he's Marshak, right? He's been so super confident he can get, in the entire episode, he can get out of any situation.
Sorry, which one is Marshak? I don't even know.
The boxer.
Okay, sure.
So he's the boxer, right? So now, like, not only is he super confident, he also is like, all right, I'm a boxer, so no one's gonna mess with me anyway. Like, I'm a famous fucking boxer.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, like, he's super confident in everything. The only time he, like, ran, really, is if, like, the detective is about to catch him, or when, he's literally in a room and the goons are coming through the door and he's about to get, like, clobbered by four dudes.
Very cornered is what.
Yeah, so, but he's with this old guy who's an old guy. So as soon as he pulls the gun on him, and even before then, why not just change his face to the old guy's face? The old guy's like, I'm crazy, and then he just fucking run off or something.
Yeah, like, it almost seemed as if this power that he had was pretty recent. Like, it didn't seem as if it was a power he was perfecting his whole life, or if it was, he had very little control over it.
I mean, in the intro, it says he discovered the power young.
But, like, it must have taken him so long to figure out how to turn into just those four people, because he struggles with it so much.
Yeah, but then, like, he sees the boxer for the first time and changes to him in, like, an instant.
I feel like the way I saw it was that he was planning this for a while. Like, for him to have all this information, he's just like,
maybe.
He's planning this, like, he's like, all right, like, because, like, you see, like, when he's talking about, like, the girl, and he's like, yeah, you know, it's almost like he's running through his plan in his head where he's like, all right, like, yeah, I deserve love, and I deserve money, and blah, blah, blah. And so he's just like, yep, here's this big thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to get all this money, and I'm going to be set for life, and I can finally leave this fucking crummy town.
That is a general motif of a lot of the Twilight Zone episodes, is people just don't have patience. There's always a quick scheme. There's always a get rich quick now. It's always a...
Yo, if I could change my face into anybody, I would be a millionaire tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I would literally just like, oh, I know what the bank manager looks like. Okay. I know what, like, you just walk in a bank, take all the money, walk out, and I'm somebody else.
Like, this guy's like, I can change my face into anyone. Now I can feel love. Like, dude... You could have done that way before you had that powers.
yeah,
like, even accidentally. Like, you could have just lied. You didn't need powers to lie to a woman. You need powers to get out of that lie later on, but to do it, you don't need that shit.
Yeah. Weird fucking episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, Hollywood thinking cap, how would you change it for today's standards?
I don't know if I could. I think,
yeah, we've come across some of these before, which is it's one of those stories where you don't have to really change it. The story is still the story enough that it's, you know, maybe not a boxer, maybe an MMA fighter, maybe not a whatever the details.
Jazz singer, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
the music changes.
He's Fitty Wap now. I don't know. It's the only rapper I know.
I mean, I think if I were to redo this, I would tell it from the perspective of, like, the detective or, like, the FBI agent who's now tracking this guy down, and you're like, we know it's this guy, but somehow, like, he's got this
He's
cast
using all these other people to
of
help him.
accomplices,
Yeah.
but we know he's at the center. We could just never tie him to it. He's never, and it's somehow based
Like a
around-
Catch Me If You Can kind of.
yeah, like that, where they know Arch Hammer is somehow at the center, but they can never tie him to the crime because he's never there. He's never seen with all the accomplices.
Yeah.
because he is the accomplice.
same, yeah.
And then at the end, I guess the detective catches him and realizes his powers, and then Arch Hammer's like, "Gotcha, bam," and then becomes the detective. And then he's an inside man. That's the twist in the Twilight Zone. Suck a dick, Rod Serling.
He's dead, so
Oh,
I think you won.
suck a ghost dick.
You can't argue with that, really. So why would you make this film? Well, Rod paid a man $500 for it, so he gave him money and he got a story.
That's fucking pretty good money.
What was that? 4,000?
1950. You know how many meals of eggs that buys?
Yo,
For 35 cents, translated to 500.
That's
Well,
like
it's like, was it
$4,300 in today money.
300? 4,000. $300, goddamn.
I mean, that's not bad for a short story, right?
For one thing.
Yeah.
To do any one thing and get paid that much. That's pretty cool. Unless you like building a car, then it's not enough. Give me more. One man build a car, give me more money.
Yeah, I did see. I couldn't find the short story anywhere.
Yeah.
But apparently in the original short story, like, the dude doesn't seem to have as much control over his powers.
Okay.
Also, apparently, like, the audience isn't aware he's changing his face until, like, halfway through the story. I know, it's weird. Other people just keep calling him different names, and, like, I guess the reader's supposed to be confused, and then...
Look, I mean, I have dyslexia, so reading stories like a novel for fun, it's not fun for me. It's tough work. But, like, sometimes people are like, you don't read for fun? I'm like, have you ever read a fucking book? People do whatever the fuck they want in a story. They will literally just start, now this story is gonna be told in first person halfway through. Everything's gonna be a quote now. Like, every time I read a story, I go, fuck it, you shit on paper when you write a story, huh?
Also, I will say that I feel like people, okay, I'm writing a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a fucking scientific paper where you have to make it as, like, indecipherable as possible. Like, I want to make my story nonsense with as much flourishes and garbage as possible just to try to be fancy.
Yeah, like, my story is about, whatever, an orphan boy who finds his path, and but now he's got to come up with, like, the Flanglacorians that are in his blood, and he's got to use the Cricklechaps to climb up. Like, you just got to make your own backstory and everything. Like,
That happens a lot in, like, fantasy and sci-fi books.
I hate, like, just...
Oh, they're bad. There's so much descriptors on everything.
I wish fantasy writing or sci-fi writing as a group can come together and go, look, can we just collectively be like, this is what we call this thing now? This is what it is. So we don't have to have all these ridiculous backstories for all these weapons. Just like, if you want a culture, if you're writing a backstory of a culture of a character and you like, you need to, fine. But if you're just telling a story and you're like, oh, by the way, old Jim Bob's wife has the cancer and it doesn't come in. It's the same thing as being like, oh, he's got to go find the majestic Krakpator, and like, just why are you making up names for stuff that doesn't even matter in the story?
Because you get caught up in that whole world building thing, and then you think that your own world building ideas are perfect.
Yeah,
and then
you, not you, the reader, you, the writer, get caught up in the world.
Does,
yeah, for the reader, it takes you out of that world building. You're like, what the fuck?
You're like, what the fuck is a fucking borculator? I don't know.
Well, that I understand. You can't borculate without a borculator.
That's true. Yeah, everybody.
Where are you getting your borks from? This guy thinks he's getting borks without a borculator.
What, you got some sort of a bork machine? Can't bork without a borculator.
You're describing 80% of the dialogue in Back to the Future 2 right now.
Yeah. I'm a third generation borker, all right? I should know.
You need power.
My family's been borking since 2023.
Those borks don't bork on water.
Yeah, but for real, it's 100% like 90, like,
yeah,
any sci-fi fantasy. It's just like, yo, what are you? Why don't you go smurf that spaceship until it's smurfed real good? Like,
you think, don't read and don't watch, but definitely don't read Ready Player One, because that is everything.
Yeah,
that is
you
everything.
guys have gone off about that before, so.
Yeah. So Twilight Zone.
Yeah, that's how that connects.
Yeah. Oh, and in the short story, the guy gets beaten to death by a gas station attendant.
Not even shot, beaten to death. Really?
Yeah, because, beats him to death with the gas station pump because he's like, hey, you're this guy I have a vendetta against.
Yo, I did not expect this short story to go straight Fight Club at the end. Where he just whips him to death with a fucking gas hose. Yep. Oh my god. Yo, this has been a couple of violent episodes.
And he
I gotta
doesn't
tell you.
even, and apparently in the short story, he doesn't even know why. He's like, and he's like, stops for gas. The gas station's like, oh, that guy, and just fucking bashes his brains in.
Apparently, back in like the early 60s, people could really easily commit casual murder. Like, woof!
No forensics.
I guess that was it. Like, it was literally just like so unlikely that you'd get caught that people were like, fuck it, I'll shove a knife in anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rocco.
All right, so let's talk about some of these tropes, which there wasn't a lot because not a lot happened. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a pretty original story, but something which is, I have no son. You know, that's common as hell. What else we have? Villain protagonist, which, sure, I wasn't really rooting for him. I wouldn't call him protagonist. And then, what is this one called? Noodle incident.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's where, like, you refer to some crazy event, but never, like, oh, you did this horrible thing and broke your mom's heart and blah, blah, but never go into it.
Okay.
Apparently it's based on Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like, well, what about the noodle incident? We don't talk about the noodle incident. Yeah, it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because they just said you did the dirt to him. And, like, legit, I have no clue if that guy had sex with that woman and then never called her again, or raped her until death. Like, I legit don't know.
Wow.
What? Because those are my only options in my mind.
There's a couple more options.
Yeah.
That's true. He could have hired her to do a job and then didn't pay her. Like, that's the dirt he did. Well, I'm sorry. In your mind, what was the dirt that he did to that
No,
woman?
it was he ran out on his
On the
mom
wedding
and
or
dad.
whatever.
It was his mom that they're talking about. They're talking about his mom.
No, but, and then the sweet little girl, I assume.
No, that's the same thing. It was like he's just talking about his wife. It's like, oh, that's a sweet girl.
No.
Yeah, there's no
No.
little in there.
Yeah, I thought there was two women involved.
So
the mom.
I took it as like he's ready to settle down and like, you know, be a good son and like take over the family business or whatever, and you got this sweet wife,
yeah.
and then you're like, I can't do it, I'm out of here, and then you like go and become a boxer, and you're like, fuck that, that's
Fuck! For real? My son skips town for not marrying a girl, and I shoot him dead in the streets the first time I see him 10 years later.
second time.
Oh, excuse me, second time.
First time he pot faced you.
That's right. The first time I tried to expose him to the world as something. I wasn't even clear about what I was trying to expose him as.
Look at him! I'm so proud of him. Look at him, everybody.
Like, oh, that's what it was. He wasn't upset. He was like a deranged fan. Like, he was so in love with him. He's like, now we'll be together forever. Bang! Yeah.
He did it for Jodie Foster.
He sure did. He sure. Well, I mean, who else could you do things for?
Geena Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Urge to Kill Rising. Who did he kill? Who do I have? What's the proxy kill for that? How does that work? Who killed what for Jodie Foster?
Are we talking about the accused?
Who allegedly killed what for Jodie Foster?
Well, Jodie Foster was either John Lennon or Ronald Reagan. Somebody tried to impress Jodie Foster by shooting somebody
Oh,
else.
it was Reagan, yeah.
Reagan, yeah.
Like John Hinckley Jr.
John Hinckley.
Yeah.
John
Hinckley Jr.? Was that right?
John Hinckley.
Oh my god, I was right.
Yeah.
I thought I was...
I don't know if there was Junior. You might be thinking of a country.
Do we know if she was impressed?
That's the story? Was she impressed? Maybe he was right. He did it.
I mean, she was impressed, but not like... So she was just like, oh wow, that was kind of nice.
Wow. She was impressed, but like in more of a shocking, like, oh, our Secret Service is that bad, huh? Oh, good to know. Like, Jodie Foster had extra plans, but
Yeah.
after she saw how it went, she was like, oh, well, now I know. Now I
Yeah.
know. Oh, good to know. Thank you. So then I gotta attack Trump to impress Geena Davis? That doesn't make sense at all.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed.
That seems incorrect. I don't think that'll impress her at all.
First off, if Geena Davis wants him dead, she's already pretty good at archery.
Yeah,
she can show up from 300 yards away.
Oh, you can't forensics an arrow. All right, that's where we're going to end that, apparently. Join us for the next episode, called Third from the Sun, where Serling says, next week, we'll give you a lesson in astronomy, but the kind of lesson not taught in schools. Uh-oh. Fritz Weaver, Edward Andrews, and Joe Maras appear in Third from the Sun. This is a story that takes place on the eve of Doomsday. Oh, jeez. I hope you'll find us on the Twilight Zone. Thank you and good night.
All right. Guess the twist. I mean, I think we all know.
It was Earth all along. Also, Earth blew up.
Yeah, so I don't know if I remember the episode or if this is just so blatantly obvious. I think it's like, oh, they're on Mars or Venus and the world is falling apart, and they're like, we'll send our rocket to that planet over there, the third from the sun.
Yeah, and it turns out it's Earth.
And it turns out it was Earth. Yeah, and the Mars blew up.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I'm pretty sure if this is the one that I'm remembering, then I'm pretty sure you're pretty close to it.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah. There's so many that are just like this, where there's like three pilots. That's why when we did the first one a couple back, I was like, oh, I know which one it was, and it was something completely different.
Yeah.
There's like 4 more of these with pilots in like season 1 or 2.
I know. It turns out that this dude really likes the same couple of basic plot ideas,
and it's funny because
over and over again.
Like this will be like the second one or maybe the third one we see with like, you know, aircraft pilots or like spacemen or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, you would think like, it's like, okay, like the first time was like the best one that he was like, oh, I really want to do this. And then like he keeps trying to do it. No, like the 4th or 5th time he's doing this is like the best. There's some really good ones. And so it's interesting where it's like, oh, you can't wait till the 7th peddler story he comes up with, because that's the good peddler story.
I mean, it's interesting because you would think like, oh, well, you know, this is it. He gets his shot at the Twilight Zone. He's going to put out the best one. And then he's like, oh, no, actually, I could have spun that in a better way. And then he does that. And, oh, I could have spun it in an even better way. And he does that. And he just keeps kind of rehashing it. He's like, look, man, Rod Serling don't give a fuck. Money's money.
It's like we said way earlier, which is that a lot of people didn't like television at the time.
Yes.
Because it was, you watch it live and
One
then it's
shot,
gone forever.
done. Yeah.
So Serling clearly took advantage of that, where he told a story, and then if it went well, he added on to it, and if it didn't, he went, never mind that again. So, we're up to episode 13, the 13th episode I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and I'm already convinced there's going to be a lot of, well, what if I tweaked it this way?
Yeah.
What if I tweaked it that way? So it's the same story over and over again.
We haven't gotten one yet, but there's going to be a lot of episodes where it's like, well, here we are, like, driving down the road or in our plane, and like, we come to a stop. Wait a minute. We're 40 years ago. Oh, actually, we did do one like that. Where he goes back in time.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot like that, where it's like, person is on a plane and the plane lands, and all of a sudden, they're 20 years or 100 years in the past. They drive down the road, suddenly they're 100 years, 20 years in the past. Mm-hmm. They reuse that whole, like, the Civil War, Titanic, like, whatever it is, they reuse that over.
It turns out it was this event.
Right now, you're still in the mode where it's just like, all right, here's some stories, here's some actors who are, like, doing bit parts. Then you're going to transition to, like, here's the same story you saw in season 1, but now here's this big time actor doing it in season 3. And then in season 5. You know, like, it's going to be that over.
Better story, better actor, better story, better actor, but same thing.
Same
over and
production
over
value
again.
goes way up as the show goes on. Way, way up.
Yeah.
And then there's some where it's like the production value like drops and it's like, what the hell happened in season 4? Good God. Yeah, so good times.
That's, sure, yeah. Okay. And then I have the Netflix description for this episode, which is, with nuclear destruction looming, a pilot and a scientist plot to flee to another planet in a stolen spaceship, but must first handle a rude official.
Yeah, okay.
Third from the Sun is the one we'll go to.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole story is like it says, them trying to how are we going to get this spaceship? We got to get out of here.
John Lithgow.
Did you check the Borculator?
No, but that gives me a good idea. I'll check the Bucketron. Yeah, so join us for that thing.
Do it.
VictorProWrestling.com.
March 9th, Center Reach, Long Island, New York. It's an anniversary show.
That might have already happened.
And if it already happened, go to VictoryProWrestling.com to check the latest up-to-date news and stuff. I'm not in control of when you listen to things. Maybe you should do a little research yourself. Follow me at DJ Delta on Twitter. Ask me a question. I probably won't answer it, but you can still ask. I encourage that. I'm all for open dialogue, where you open dialogue at me and I ignore you.
And I instantly block you.
The open dialogue is where you ask me a question and I give you an end, right? Just end. It's over.
Yeah.
Closed. Huge?
Yeah, you can find my misadventures, I guess you'd say, at Atomic Huge on Twitter. More importantly, you can find out everything that's going on at Geena Davis and her institute. That's right, Geena Davis Institute on Twitter at GDIGM, where you can find out about things that maybe have to do with Earth Girls Are Easy, or maybe about helping global warming.
I don't know.
Davis I'm scrolling
Institute
very
for
quickly.
Archery.
But what is that?
I've already clicked out of it.
GDIDM?
Geena Davis Institute for whatever GM is. So go.
Dyslexic motherfuckers.
There's no D.
What?
Is GM, he said. I don't know,
G-
apparently.
Glick.
Well, that's where the dyslexia comes in.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so that thing, those things,
Them people.
www.ymp.com for all the links of such. The intro music is Falling Off Your Love by Kill Paris. For Huge and J Delta, I'm Jimmy Time. Please remember that without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts.
Talkin' Toots.
Talkin' Toots.
Here we go, 15 rounds with Talkin' Toots.
What is...
It's a callback from 14 minutes ago when we were talking about Talkin' Toots, the talking horse.
Played by Val Kilmer in that hit movie Maverick.
The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.